Talofa love everyone, warm Pacific greetings and welcome to another episode of Pacifically Correct. Thanks for taking the time to share with me here and now. Right team, I want to share with you a little bit about drugs. I want to talk to you about the conversations that's out there about legalizing cannabis last year, but now it seems there's documentation about legalizing all drugs. I want to pick up on a couple of points that concern me from a Pacific perspective. First is, one of the reasons why the government was really keen on it was the fact that they said when people get into trouble with drugs that they are stigmatized. And in particular, they pointed out Māori and Pacific Islanders. And they really were just saying, we're doing this for them. Well, that's really, really dangerous because from a policing perspective, I've seen the devastation that drugs has on our Pacific families. It's really, really sad when you see kids stealing from their grandparents because they need to go and get another hit. Once you are addicted to something, you really don't care about people's feelings, and that can really destroy, the whānau and our aingas. So I'm not really keen on it. But here's another point that I think is really important. If the government really cared about Pacific and they really wanted to do stuff that would help us, then they would be looking at putting all the millions of dollars that would take to legalize this thing into our education, into our health, into housing, into the things that really matter, not making our kids and our young adults cuckoo. So the whole argument for Pacific Island Māori, I don't buy it. The other reason why I don't buy it is this. The law that we currently have is like the medium barrier down the motorway. And that law stops one or two people from crossing the boundary, and yes, they might scratch their car, but the thing about it is they don't kill anybody coming the other direction. You remove that barrier, you remove the law that stops people from going full on with drugs. And what you'll see is devastation amongst our families because innocent people, motorists that are just trying to get about their business, are going to be hit by people that are drugged up, and they're going to steal our kids, they're going to steal our parents, they're going to cause death on our roads, and I'm not really, really keen on that. The other point I would like to make too is that they talk about potency. What is potency? It's the power behind the drug. Back in the 60s and 70s, cannabis just had a very small potency, 2, 3, 4%. But today, when you look at the drugs that have been on offer now, and the fact that the government are quite happy for it to go up to about 27% potency, that's just far too powerful. That's really going to mess with the heads of our young people and a lot of our old as well. And what we're going to find is that this potency is going to destroy their ability to think. And if they're your children, you may have to go back to babysitting them because they're going to be brain dead. Not only are you going to go back to babysitting them, but you're going to have to hide all your things of value because they're going to be wanting to go and steal some stuff and then go off and sell it so they can get some more drugs. Team, you don't want to get into that scene. The third point I think I want to point out too is the fact that there's a group that actually runs the drug industry, and it's the gangs. Unless you've got your head in the sand, you've got to realize that it's the gangs that are behind the drug scene. The other thing too, it's interesting that the government just gave the gangs money to deal with the meth problem. Thinking, how does that work? The mind boggles. So the thing about the gangs, when the government decide they're going to bring in a particular product, a cannabis product for example, and they say it's only allowed to have this much potency and you're not allowed to sell to anyone under the age of 18, what actually happens at that point is you have just created a new marketing strategy for the gangs, because the gangs are saying, whoa, there's a gap in the market now for something potency over 27% and for everyone under the age of 18. So what they do then is they will create a product and they will start advertising their product on Facebook saying, hey, all you guys under 18 that can't buy and you want the real heavy stuff that goes from 27% right up to 100%, come and get it from us. You're actually creating issues and you're actually creating a market for the gangs. You're going to be helping them out. So team, there's going to be a conversation about this because even after the referendum where we won the fact that we don't want drugs in New Zealand, there's lots of talk from government and from other agencies saying, well, there's other ways that we can bring this in. We don't want to be tricked into allowing them to bring this in. Not because they're thinking it's because we want to help Pacific Island Māori. That's a load of rubbish. They want to collect the tax on that money they're going to make through the drug selling. We don't need that. And remember the potency. It's too strong for our people. And remember the ones that are really going to benefit from this are the gangs when we create a new marketing strategy for them. So team, having said that, I'm going to be back with a part 2 which will break down what it actually means to regulate this industry. And you'll be surprised when you look at it from a Pacific lens how stupid this whole thing sounds. Thank you for your opportunity, or an opportunity to be with you today. Let's remain Pacifically correct. God bless you. Whaftai lava, pasu forward.